Hello everyone, welcome to my channel The Social Science Academy. In this video, we are going to study chapter number 2, NCERT Book of Geography for class 7. The name of lesson is Inside Our Earth. The Earth, our homeland, is a dynamic planet, so we know everything whatever there present on the Earth's surface, means the outside world of the Earth. What is there inside the Earth? Is it hollow inside like a ball? No, it is not hollow like a ball inside. There are different things are present inside the earth. Which are those things? What is the earth made up of? That things we are going to study in this lesson. So, the first point we are going to see that interior of the earth. If we will take the example of boiled egg, we can see there are the three different layers of the boiled egg. Outermost layer, it is a hard cover. Then inside that there is a layer of white color and innermost layer which is of a yellow color. Same here, there are also the different layers of the earth. So the uppermost layer over the earth's surface is called the crust. Once again, listen, the uppermost layer over the earth's surface is called the crust. Okay, then we will go to the diagram. You can see here the crust, uppermost layer of the earth, which is called the lithosphere also, where we live. It is the thinnest of all the layers. It is about 35 km on the continental masses and only 5 km on the ocean floor. Now our earth's surface, it is divided into two parts, continents and ocean. Okay, so there are also the two types of crust we can see, that is continental crust and another one is the oceanic crust. Okay, so it is about 35 km on the continental masses and only 5 km on the ocean floors. Now the main mineral constituents of the continental mass are silica and alumina. The main mineral constituents of the continental mass, that is silica and alumina, it is this called the Sial, S-I-A-L. Si stands for silica and Al stands for alumina, that is the Sial. The oceanic crust mainly consists of silica and magnesium. It is therefore called SIMA, S-I-M-A, SIMA, that is Si stands for silica and Ma stands for magnesium. Then just beneath the crust is the mantle, the second layer, that is the mantle, which extends up to a depth of 2900 km below the crust. Okay, so the first layer crust, it is of 35 km. Then mantle just beneath the crust, it extends up to a depth of 2900 km below the crust. Then the second layer, it comes, innermost layer is the core with a radius of about 3500 km. It is the third layer now, innermost layer, that is about of 3500 km, and it is mainly made up of nickel and iron. It is made up of nickel and iron, and it is called NIF. It is called NIF, N-I-F-E, NIF. Ni stands for nickel, Ni stands for nickel, and Fe stands for ferrous, that is iron. The central core has very high temperature and pressure. Then the next point we are going to study, that is rocks and minerals. What are the rocks and what are the minerals? Now, the earth crust is made up of various types of rocks. We can see the different types of rocks which are present on the earth's surface. So, earth crust is made up of various types of rocks. Any natural mass of mineral matter that makes up the earth crust is called a rock. Rocks can be of different color, size and texture. One type of rocks are not present. Different types of rocks are present on the crust. These are of different color, size and texture. There are three major types of rocks, that is igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. These are the three major types of rocks, that is igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and the metamorphic rocks. When the molten magma cools, it becomes solid and rocks thus formed are called igneous rocks. They are also called primary rocks. The igneous rocks, these are also called as a primary rocks. These are two types of igneous rocks, that is intrusive rocks and extrusive rocks. Now see how the igneous rock it forms. When the molten magma come on the earth's surface and it solidifies, when it becomes cool and it becomes solid, the rock which is formed by this magma, solidified molten magma, these are called the igneous rocks. So it is also called as a primary rock. Why it is called as primary rock? I will tell you afterwards. Okay. And there are also the two types of igneous rocks, that is intrusive rocks and the extrusive rocks. Okay, now what is the extrusive rock we will see first. Then lava is actually fiery red molten magma coming out from the interior of the earth on its surface. Now we everyone know that lava, it erupts from inside the earth, interior part of the earth on the surface of the earth. When this molten lava comes on the earth's surface, it rapidly cools down and becomes solid. It is solidified process. Okay, so when this molten magma or molten lava, it comes on the earth's surface, it cools rapidly, it cools down rapidly and it becomes solid. So when this molten magma solidifies, the rock which is formed in such a way on the crust are called the extrusive igneous rocks. By such process, the rock which formed, it is called the extrusive igneous rocks. Now what is mean by intrusive rocks? See, while coming, when the molten magma, it comes from the interior of the earth to the earth's surface, it enters in the cracks in between. Okay, there are so many cracks inside the earth's surface. So while coming, this molten magma, it enters into that cracks. How the molten magma rapidly cools down on the earth's surface, like that way this magma which is inside the cracks, it never cools down rapidly, it cools down slowly, okay, deep inside the earth crust. So solid rocks formed are called the intrusive igneous rocks. These rocks which is formed are called the intrusive igneous rocks. Since they cool down slowly, they form large grains. So what are the example of that? Granite is an example of such a rock. And grinding stones used to prepare paste or powder of spices and grains are made up of granite. The stone we use for grinding. Okay, if the stone which we use for grinding or preparing the paste or powders of the spices and grains, which is made up of granite. Now rocks roll down, crack and hit each other and are broken down into small fragments. Now when the rock form, it not always be in a same form due to the processes happen naturally. Okay, due to that what happens, these rocks, they became cracked, and when they crack, they roll down, they heat to each other, and again they broke down into small fragments. These smaller particles are called the sediments, and these sediments are transported and deposited by wind, water, etc. How the big rocks, large rocks, they become transformed into the sediments. They also deposit by the wind and water to the different places, and these loose sediments are compressed and hardened to form layers of rocks. These types of rocks are called sedimentary rocks. The rocks which is formed by the sediments, these are called the sedimentary rocks. For example, sandstone is made from grains of sand. These rocks may also contain fossils of plants, animals, and other microorganisms that once lived on them. What is meant by fossils? The remains of the dead plants and animals trapped in the layers of rocks are called the fossils. Now we have seen about the igneous rocks and the sedimentary rock. Now the third and the last type of the rock, that is the metamorphic rock. Now the igneous and sedimentary rocks can change into metamorphic rocks under great heat and pressure. Now how igneous and sedimentary rocks, they change into metamorphic rocks? See, the molten magma, it comes on the earth's surface, it gets solidifies, and it forms the igneous rocks. Okay, then these igneous rocks, after some days, they become sedimentary rocks. Okay, they roll down, they crack, they heat to each other, they forms into the sediments, fragments. Okay, and after compression of these sediments, the sedimentary rock forms, and day by day the layers of the rocks are formed on one another. So the uppermost layer, it goes down and down and down. Always it goes down, and the new layer of the new layer of the rock, it forms on the first rock layer. Okay, so these layers, the old layers, this goes downside. So what happens? Under the great heat and pressure, these igneous and sedimentary rocks, this changes into the metamorphic rock. Which great heat? See, we have seen already the central core in the interior of the earth. We have seen that the central core has very high pressure and high temperature. Okay, so that great heat, it gets from the downside, and the high pressure also it comes from the upside, because always the layers of the rocks are going to add upper side, and the pressure, it increases at the lower layer of the rock. Okay, so the heat from the downside and the pressure from the upside, which forms these rocks into the metamorphic rocks. Okay, so the igneous and sedimentary rocks can change into the metamorphic rocks under great heat and pressure. For example, the clay changes into slate and limestone into marble. Now how these words we get? Igneous, it is a Latin word ignis, meaning of fire. Then sedimentary, it is also a Latin word sedimentum, which means settle down. Then metamorphic, it is a Greek word that is metamorphos, meaning change of form. Okay, so like that way we get the three names of the rocks. Okay, then the next we are going to see uses of the rocks. The rocks are very useful to us. The hard rocks are used for making roads, houses and buildings. We use the hard rock for making roads, houses and buildings. Then we use stones for playing many games also. Okay, then the next point, that is the rock cycle. We are going to study about the rock cycle. Now what is the rock cycle? You have seen that igneous rock, it has changed into the sedimentary rock, and after that again it has changed into the metamorphic rock. Okay, see, for that purpose only igneous rock, it is called as a primary rock. It was the first type of rock which forms, and after that it changes into the different rocks. Okay, so it is called as a primary rock. Igneous rock is called as a primary rock. Then about the rock cycle, that you will be surprised to know that one type of rock changes to another type under certain conditions in a cyclic manner. Which conditions we have seen already? Okay, how the rock changes into the another form. This process of transformation of the rock form one to another is known as the rock cycle. Now you have already learned, when the molten magma cools, it solidifies to become igneous rock. These igneous rocks are broken down into small particles that are transported and deposited to form sedimentary rocks. Then the igneous and sedimentary rocks are subjected to heat and pressure. They change into metamorphic rocks. Now the metamorphic rocks, which are still under great heat and pressure, melt down to form molten magma. See, metamorphic rock, it is under the pressure, which pressure comes from the upside. However, the rocks layers are depositing on the earth's surface. The pressure it exerts at the last layer of the rock. Okay, so it is under the pressure and it's getting heat from the innermost layer of the earth, and due to that great heat, what happens, this metamorphic rock again it melts down to a form of molten magma. Okay, then this molten magma again can cool down and solidify into igneous rock. Now see, this is a rock cycle. First, molten magma, it comes on the earth's surface. Okay, it forms, it solidifies, then it converts into the igneous rock. Igneous rock, it transforms into the sedimentary rock. These both the rocks, it transforms, it changes into the metamorphic rock, and under the high pressure and heat, metamorphic rock again it melts down into the molten magma, and again that molten magma it comes on the earth's surface. So it is a rock cycle. You can see here in the picture also how the rock cycle works. Okay, then the next, rocks are made up of different minerals. Rocks are made up of different minerals, are naturally occurring substances which have certain physical properties and finite chemical compositions. Minerals, these are the natural occurring substances which have certain physical properties and the chemical compositions. Minerals are very important to humankind. In which way minerals are important to humankind? We use minerals as fuels, for example coal, natural gas and petroleum. They are also used in industries, that is iron, aluminium, gold, uranium, etc. in medicine, in fertilizers and so on. I hope you have liked my video. Then like it, share it and subscribe my channel. Thank you.